Hello everybody! Hope you guys are having an awesome day so far. Thank you for joining me to have a little chat about the holidays. So, as we all know, the holidays are a super stressful time, and a lot of times there's a lot of eating involved in the holidays, and that adds to the stress. So today we're going to talk about how we can kind of get through all of this holiday eating and all that kind of stuff without feeling deprived, without feeling guilty, and without gaining, 7 pounds from now through January. Especially because this year will hopefully be a little bit more back to normal than last holiday season was. I feel like I've heard, just in my own experience and from my clients, I've heard that, last year was a little bit easier to kind of stay away from that weight gain, that holiday weight gain, because you didn't have as many parties to go to. We were kind of stuck at home, right? Which had its own issues, but this year is going to be a little bit, hopefully, more normal of a holiday season. So my number one thing that I want everyone to kind of remember and keep at the top of your head, you can make it like your mantra, is that it's all about progress over perfection. We're not looking to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect, but a lot of times, so many of us, myself included, have kind of this like all or nothing type of mentality, where if you're not going to be absolutely perfect, you're not going to eat 100%, hitting all your macros and staying below a certain number of calories, then you kind of throw the towel in and just decide, well, it's not going to be perfect, so I'm just going to go crazy, right? And I have done that so many times in my life. And then what happens after that, going crazy with your eating, is that you feel guilty and all of that stuff kind of builds up. And so really we want to kind of change our relationship with food, and that's one thing that I work on a lot with my own relationship with food and with my clients, is that food is fun, food is nourishment, but we can't let food control us, okay? So if you're the type of person who is worried about going to a holiday party because you're worried about what you're going to eat, and how are you going to stay away from your mom's pumpkin pie, which is your most favorite dessert in the world. And if you kind of get these anxious feelings before heading out, and not just during the holidays, just on a regular day, I used to get these feelings all the time, like when going out to dinner. Oh my God, what am I going to eat? It's going to ruin my whole diet. It's going to ruin everything. So I'm just going to stop dieting for this weekend because we're going out to dinner, and I'll just start again on Monday, right? And that's just that's not a healthy relationship with food. You're allowing food to control your life, right? So what I am going to ask all of you to do during this holiday season and beyond is to, number one, focus on progress, not perfection. Okay, especially during the holidays, do not expect to be perfect with your dieting and with your exercise, and because it's just a crazy time of year, and it's okay. Okay, you have to give yourself some grace. We all need to give ourselves grace. Okay, so what I want you to do when you are at a holiday party or whatever the case may be, or you're baking holiday cookies with your kids, I want you to ask yourself this one question. How could this choice be just a little bit better right now? Okay, so if you're at a holiday party and you're looking at a buffet full of appetizers and sweets and all of this food that you're start drooling over, right? Ask yourself, how can I make a choice that's just a little bit better? So if you were about to reach for, say, the frosted sugar cookie, okay, stop before you do so, look at the whole table and say, how can I make this just a little bit better? What would be a better choice on this table? Okay. And then also ask yourself, what would be a worse choice? So essentially, I kind of want you to put food on a continuum, okay, where you've got the worst choice in the world all the way up to the best choice. okay? And whatever your initial choice was going to be, whatever that first food you're gonna go for is, see if you can make that choice just a little bit better. And that doesn't necessarily mean don't eat the sugar cookie, because that's just depriving yourself. So if you are the type of person who is, if you tell yourself you cannot eat something and then that's the only thing that you think about for the rest of the night, then allow yourself to eat that cookie. And maybe for you, the better choice in that moment is to eat half the cookie. Split the cookie with somebody. So at least you're still eating the, getting the craving that, your body is telling you you have. But you're making a slightly better choice. So this can be a bunch of different things. It doesn't have to be like, 100% better. It could just be a 5% better choice, okay? And as you do this more often, it gets a little bit easier. So yeah, the first time you go to a party and you're staring down all this food and it's all your favorite foods, you might feel kind of strange standing there and asking yourself this question like, well, what option would be just a tiny bit better? But over time, you created a habit of doing that. And because you're not depriving yourself of something, and because you're allowing yourself to make the decision, it's not somebody else telling you you can't have that. Okay, it's not because you saw somebody on Instagram talking about how eating or drinking eggnog is like the worst thing you could do in the world, right? That's their choice if they don't want to drink eggnog. But if it's your favorite drink and you only get it during the holidays, you make the decision to, instead of drinking a whole glass of eggnog, maybe just half a glass, okay? Or maybe just a sip or two is something that will satisfy your craving. So the whole thing is, you don't want to deprive yourself of anything, because that's where we hit that like all or nothing, perfect or it's worthless type of mindset, right? So think about your foods on a continuum, okay? Progress, not perfection, and try to make each of your choices just a little bit better. Okay, so if you have a work party, say Thursday night, and then Friday night you have, a holiday party with your neighbors. Maybe when you're at that holiday party on Saturday, you think back to your work party on Friday and think, okay, so how could I have made this choice a little bit better? And you can make it better the next day too. So it doesn't have to be just in that moment. But if you're constantly just trying to be just a little teeny tiny bit better, over time, that all adds up, okay? And you get the results that you're looking for, and you don't have that 7-pound weight gain over the holidays. So just a couple of other little tips is to make sure that you're filling yourself up on proteins and veggies. Veggies because they have fiber and they have a lot of nutritional value. And even if your favorite veggie is slathered in butter and olive oil, have a little bit of it, because you're still getting all the nutritional value from those veggies and you're getting the fiber. So even though it might have some not so good for you stuff in there, there's still a lot of good in there, right? And then protein, because protein does keep you full. So, if you think of, if you're loading up a plate, try to load up half the plate with veggies, and then a quarter of the plate with protein, and then you have another quarter of the plate for whatever it is that you're craving, okay? And then also remember those portion sizes that we've talked about before. So, your thumb is a serving of fat, a cupped handful is a serving of carbs, a fist is a serving of veggies, and then just your palm itself is a serving of protein. So kind of keep that in mind too as you're filling up your plate with things. And then second to last tip is to keep yourself hydrated. A lot of the times when we think we're hungry, if we just kind of get our mind off of it and tell ourselves you have to drink a glass of water first, and then if you still want that thing, then you can have it. A lot of the times, by the time we're done drinking the glass of water, it is no longer, you're not craving whatever it was that you're craving anymore. And I was just talking to a client this morning about it, and she does that with her son. When he's asking for like sugary snacks and stuff like that, she'll say, okay, take 9 sips of this water, 9 sips of this milk, and if you still want it, then we'll talk, right? So it can work for all ages. Okay, so kind of you can trick your mind a little bit, and a lot of the times if we're thirsty, we think we're hungry. So trying to quench your thirst first, and the majority of us do not drink enough water, and we're often dehydrated throughout the day, especially in the winter when it gets drier out. It's much easier to get dehydrated, and we don't want to drink cold water. So drink your water, right? Just keep yourself hydrated. And even if you're going to a party and you want to have some fun holiday drinks, have them, right? There's nothing wrong with that, but tell yourself, okay, in between each drink, I have to drink a glass of water. So that way at least you're giving yourself that hydration that you'll need. And then finally, last tip here is just to keep moving, okay? So even if you don't even have an exercise program right now, that's okay. Just little movement throughout the day, especially during the holidays, is going to help you with your stress levels, and it will help you kind of keep those pounds off, right? If you do have a fitness program right now and you're worried that it's kind of going to fall to the wayside because things are going to get so busy, that's okay too. You don't have to do the same exact thing you were doing when you have extra time. When you're low on time, just little bits of moving here and there is perfectly fine, okay? So give yourself grace. Progress, not perfection. And think of your food on that continuum and just try to make a choice that's just a little bit better. So I hope you can take something away from our little talk here today. And if you have questions, please drop them down into the comments. I'm happy to answer any questions. I know the holidays can be very, very stressful, and just try to focus on being mindful, enjoying yourself, and giving yourself some grace. All right. So thank you for listening, and I will see you guys all next week, and we'll have a new topic to talk about. All right, take care. Bye-bye.